Hi everyone, I'm Vincent Shah.
And I'm Elif Zor.
Today our topic is overfishing. And that's a fact that happened around the world. Even the government is trying to take control of it, but overfishing is still happening. Just like we learned on the class, the overfishing impacts the economics a lot. Not only from the fishing economics, but also from other kind of economics that related to fishing.
So, why do we eat fish? Assets, and those things help us to move our muscles. So, we control our muscles by eating proteins. If we don't have any of those, then there is no motion of muscle. And also, it helps muscle structure and it carries oxygen to our cells. And that is why we need to eat concentrated protein foods. And guess what's the one of the important ones? Fish.
Yeah, fish. And we have the business, very economic teams, and then there's a fishing economics. But the fishing economics is only a small part of the ocean. And in the US, there one of every 6 jobs in the US is marine related. And over 30% of American products that is related with coast areas. That means it's related with the oceans. After people take all the resources from the land, people start to put their eyes on the ocean. And fish is kind of important thing that's related with the Americans' life. Not only Americans, but the people's life.
And because of that, I meant the overfishing, is now an international problem. It does not happen in America only, but it happens around the world. And because of because of its effects on people and people now and people in the future, well, if we keep fishing now, then there's not going to be enough fish for the next generation. There has been a lot of there has been a lot of arguments and articles and a lot of stuff to stop this overfishing. While right now it seems impossible, but some of the things that took place internationally is now there's not a free water policy, so it's not like, yeah, there's the sea, say in Spain. It's not everyone's sea. It belongs to Spain, so only people from Spain can go fishing there. And also, one of the other policies was some people who are trying to get into someone else's territory, um, they can get punished by like paying fines, or they can even end up in a jail because this problem is that serious.
Yeah, even the problem is serious, but people cannot stop it. Because since the most recently statistics in 2004, there's 5 states in the ocean economics in America. They are California, Florida, New York, Washington, and Texas. Because of fishing is making big benefits for the human beings. It took 2.3 million and employees and 138.25 GDP total in America. But why the government cannot stop overfishing right now? It's because some people they believe a kind of thought that created by the most by a famous economist named Mankun. It says because people are doing fishing more and more, like overfishing, and then the amount of fish will come less and less, and that amount of fish come less, it will make the price of the fish on the market comes higher, and the higher price will cause less demand, and the less demand will make people do less fishing, and that's kind of overfishing self-control. But this kind of point is still not happening right now because people are still doing overfishing and fish more and more because they want to make more benefits for themselves and have some other reasons.
Because they're being selfish, because people are being free riders of the oceans, and because if they want to try to conserve the fish in the ocean, then someone else is gonna fish that fish. So why would I want someone else's to get my fish if I can get it? So um, one of the environmentalists, Michael Parfit, he, well, he's been around the world. He goes to almost everywhere just to see how the environmental issues are doing, if they're getting better or getting worse. And when I read the article that is written by him, he talks about like one of the ways to prevent the decrease in tuna fish at the sea is the quotas, and that is actually happening only in the United States and nowhere else. So if you put more quotas on other fish, like tuna and other fish around the world, that might be an ending to overfishing.
Yeah, and right now the fishing gives the world economics 225 billions to 240 billion dollars every year. But if we come to stop overfishing and take control of those fishing areas, and then this amount will increase about $36 billion. And those statistics, it shows like stop overfishing is really needed for human beings. And since 1950s, the fishing is counted into economics. Until now, it's like over half of the world's ocean area. There's 36% to 53% of the fish has the overfishing problems. And right now, the fish was decreased by 100 billion tons every year. And then they also found there's lots of place government, they didn't think about the long-term overfishing problems. They only think the short-term economic benefits, and they didn't even think about the influence of overfishing. That's why the government don't want to take control of overfishing and take protect of the fish.
And also, when the environmentalists go to other places to see how overfishing is getting worse or better, they actually, what they see is they see small boat owners and they see freezer trawlers owners, and the small ones blame the big ones, and big ones blame the old ones. Like the small ones go like, oh yeah, I only fish one or two fish in a day, but they can fish with that technology, they can fish millions of fish and they can make a lot of money. But then what happens to that fish? It just becomes money to them, and now there is less fish in the ocean.
Yeah, and because of their selfish, it also makes big difficulties for the poor people in the developing countries. Because as we know, most people have the high technology on the fishing. It's the big countries, like well-developed countries. As those countries, they have the really high technology, and they know how to fish more, and they will take control of the fishing in one part of the ocean area. And if they take control, those small countries, their fish have to be imported. If they import the fish, the price of the fish will come up, and the poor people, like poor families, they cannot afford those fish. They don't have enough money to buy those import fish, and that kind of take their family's life.
And just like Parfit said, the force of economics overpowers conscience.
Yeah, and that's today about the overfishing.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. And fish are friends, not food.
Yeah.